Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial on machine learning algorithms. In last video, we started discussing naive Bayes algorithm. We discussed basic terms in probability and understand what is conditional probability, and also we derive Bayes theorem from conditional probability. In today's video, we will discuss more about Bayes theorem with some examples. So please subscribe my channel and click the notification icon. Let's get started. We discussed the conditional probability P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B given A. From this figure, we can understand that P of A intersection B and P of B intersection A both are same. So the joint probability P of A intersection B, or we can say P of A comma B, is equal to P of B comma A. But the conditional probability P of B given A is different from P of A given B. P of B given A equal to P of A intersection B by P of A, whereas P of A given B equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. Please make note of the denominator. In P of B given A, the denominator is P of A, whereas P of A given B, the denominator is P of B. So from this conditional probability, we derive the Bayes theorem P of B given A equal to P of A given B into P of B by P of A. So here let us understand the Bayes theorem with some examples. First, I take the example of diabetes and BP. In this example, event A is diabetes develops to a person, whereas event B is BP develops to a person. If we consider both the disease as different events, no matter if diabetes develop first, then BP follows, or BP develop first and diabetes follows, both are same, because the person will finally end up with both diabetic and BP. But from the past data, if we could get the probability of BP given diabetic equal to 0.75 and probability of diabetic given BP is 0.25. So this point 0.7 is the person is already diabetic. So the probability of that person develops BP is 0.75. Same way, this 0.25 is the person is already having BP. The probability of that person develops diabetic is 0.25. So this data makes sense. And as the probability of BP given diabetic is 0.75, which is more compared to the other one, the diabetic persons can be advised with precautionary measures. So this is one simple example. Let us discuss another example where we calculate the probability of spam mail belongs to mailbox A or mailbox B or mailbox C. So these are the data in hand. That is, percentage of mail coming to account A is 60 and account B is 25 and account C is 15. And the percentage of spam mails coming to account A, which is office mail, 1%, and B, which is study mail, 5%, and C, which is personal mail, is 8%. For example, we are having three mailboxes in our mobile: office mail A, study mail B, personal mail C. So these are the probabilities of mail coming to those accounts, and these are the probability of spam mails coming to those accounts. Now the question is, if I select a spam mail, what is the probability of it belongs to A? So if a spam mail is coming to my mailbox, what is the probability of that spam mail belongs to mailbox A or mailbox B or mailbox C? This diagram represents the given data. A, B, C are three events. A is the event of mail coming to mailbox A, B is the event of mail coming to mailbox B, and C is the event of mail coming to mailbox C. So probability of A is 0.6 given. So given that probability of A is 0.6, probability of B is 0.25, probability of C is 0.15. And this area is probability of spam mail coming to mailbox A, and this area is probability of spam mail coming to mailbox B, and this area represents the probability of mail coming to mailbox C, and this total shaded area is the total probability of spam mails. So probability of S given A is 0.01, that is this shaded area, and probability of S given B is 0.05, and probability of S given C is 0.08. The basic difference between the first example, that is the diabetic BP example, and this example is, in diabetic BP example it is two events, that is A and B. We compare the probability of A given B and the probability of B given A and make decisions depending upon the probabilities. But here there are three events: event A, event B, and event C. So there are combination of events here, and there is some outcome, say spam mail here. First, let us calculate the total probability of getting a spam mail. So P of S equal to the total area, P of S intersection A, P of S intersection B, and P of S intersection C. And we already know that from conditional probability, P of A intersection B equal to P of A into P of B given A. Therefore, P of S intersection A is P of S given A into P of A. P of S intersection B equal to P of S given B into P of B. And P of S intersection C equal to P of S given C into P of C. And all these probabilities we already have here, P of A and P of S given A, 0.01 into 0.6 and 0.05 into 0.25 and 0.08 into 0.15. So the total probability of getting spam mail equal to 0.0305. And now the question is, if I select a spam mail, or if a spam mail is coming to my mailbox, what is the probability of it belongs to A? So these are the results from the previous slide. So these are all given data. From the given data, we calculated this total probability. Now we are going to calculate P of A given S. That is, the probability of spam mail coming belongs to mailbox A equal to P of A intersection S by P of S. P of A intersection S we can rewrite as P of S given A into P of A. We have these two probabilities, P of S given A as 0.01 and P of A as 0.6. And the denominator is the total probability of spam that we calculated, P of S, which is 0.03. And now the probability of A given S is 0.2. Similarly, we can also find the probability of spam mail belongs to mailbox B is 0.4. And the probability of the spam mail coming belongs to the mailbox C is P of S given C into P of C by the total probability of spam, which equal to 0.4. We can take decision that we can either remove the mailbox B or mailbox C from our mobile to reduce the spam mail coming to our mailbox. So from this example, we can conclude that A, B, C are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Exhaustive means A, B, C all together makes the sample space. That is, this 60 percentage plus 25 percentage plus 15 percentage gives 100 percentage, and they are mutually exclusive, which means that if one event occurs, the other will not occur, and S is some outcome. Then P of A given S equal to P of S given A into P of A by the probability of all the events. Similarly, P of B given S equal to P of S given B into P of B divided by probability of all the events. And P of C given S equal to P of S given C into P of C by the total probability, the probability of all the events. So we call this P of A given S as posterior probability. That is the probability we calculate, we call it as posterior probability, and the probability we are using, that is the already known data, P of S given A and P of A, we call it as priori probability. So from this we can generalize Bayes theorem as P of AI given S equal to P of S given AI into P of AI by summation of P of S given AI into P of AI. I can take any number of events. So in the previous example, I is 3. So we have P of A given S, P of B given S, and P of C given S. Or we can say P of A1 given S, P of A2 given S, P of A3 given S. We will continue the discussion in the next video. If you like the content, please hit the like button and share with your friends. Thank you.